Nowadays, it's pretty hard to find a vehicle that's under $25,000 Canadian, but the Kia K4 hits all the boxes and is priced at $23,995. So that's a little bit under,
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
And you won't believe what you get standard on this car. So in today's video, we're talking about the base model, the LX, and it's so hard for me to actually call this a base model. Truly, it's more of an entry trim. There's a whole lot on this car that we're gonna break down for you in today's live stream car review. So just like what I said, it's live, it's a car review. It's gonna be a little bit longer than your typical YouTube car review, and that's because we're going over everything on this car. We'll talk about the price, the powertrain, the specs, the seating configuration, all the comfort functions, all the tech. We're doing it all in one video that you can watch in real time and comment any questions you may have. Because this is live stream, we will quite literally see what you guys are saying. And if there's anything you want us to touch base on, please let us know so we can answer it while we're still filming this video. Now, Connor, you're not usually in these videos, right?
Not typically, only when I'm needed.
There you go. And today we need him. We need you to tell us at the end of this video what you think about this car and if you would truly believe that it's a base model.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I like the K4. I think it is a good entry-level car. Like we were talking, if you're comparing it to a Civic, I mean, we're easily $10,000 under that.
Close.
So, I mean...
It's a little less than 10,000,
okay, so
but...
around 10. But I mean...
You're saving some money with this vehicle for sure.
And it's, you know, it's nice, compact, but also larger. I mean, I like it.
So shall we get into it, Connor?
Let's get right into it.
All right, Connor said it's a compact but larger, and that's exactly how I like to start my K4 car reviews, because while it's technically considered a compact vehicle and it's replacing the outgoing Kia Forte, it's definitely stretched all four corners. So this vehicle is wider, it is longer than the outgoing Forte, and you really feel a difference in the cabin area. So whether you're a driver or a passenger in the back seat, you'll have a ton more space. We also have a huge advancement of technology in our standard trim level. So for the Kia Forte, while it was still called the LX model, you didn't really get a whole lot. You got a really fuel efficient car, but that was about it. This vehicle builds on from that, gives you a bigger car with a whole lot more. Let's start off at the front end. So styling wise, it's a little bit more simple on the LX model. We already still have full LED headlamps though. So the main light itself is a full LED, it's a multi-reflection headlamp. And then for your daytime running light, it is bold, it is bright, and it is amber. So they definitely stand out compared to, you know, the other competitors that just have the boring white going on, or maybe not even full LEDs in their entry models. Some manufacturers are still including regular halogen bulbs, which is okay, but this looks a whole lot better, and it's a whole lot brighter, and it'll last a while longer. In terms of technology and safety, this vehicle will also come standard with an advanced forward collision avoidance system. So that means the vehicle will warn you if there's a risk of a collision, but also take corrective action by including some brake force. To do that, it utilizes this sensor right down here for a little bit more of an advanced visualization, but also a camera inside the windscreen. So it uses both systems to sense if there's a risk. Speaking of this radar plate down here though, that means we also have an advanced smart cruise control on this car. That means this vehicle will sense if there's a sudden change in speed and bring your vehicle to a slowdown or a complete stop if you do hit stop and go traffic. You can also fine tune this system. So if you've driven with a smart cruise control in the past but kind of felt it was always very laggy or very jerky, you can now change it to change the reaction speed, the acceleration speed, everything. So it's a lot more like how a person would drive. And of course, you still have to pay attention when you use these kinds of car help driver assistances, but they're really nice to have. On the topic of styling again, I'll just quickly talk about some of the materials we have here. So just about everything is finished in a regular matte black plastic, so not a lot of that high gloss touch areas that show a lot of scratches over time. It's simple, but it's effective. If you are planning on keeping this vehicle for a long time, you don't have to worry about how scratched it's gonna look. We got a little bit of satin chrome up here as well. And then for the Kia emblem, it's finished in a nice brushed aluminum. I'm gonna pop the hood to talk about the powertrain. Now the K4 has two powertrain options. If you are looking at the LX model though, it's going to have a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. This is the most fuel efficient powertrain for the Kia K4. It's going to provide you with 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers of fuel efficiency on the highway, which is better than the outgoing Forte. And it's a bigger car. Now, if you are driving this vehicle largely in city and highway, so a combination, you'll see about 7 liters per 100 kilometers too, which again is fantastic for a vehicle. For the engine, we get 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque, and by no means is that race car numbers, but it is more than enough for your average day-to-day drive. Whether you're doing highway driving or city driving, that will be an okay number for you, I can promise you that. I am someone with a ridiculously heavy foot, and I used to drive the Kia Forte, which had the exact same horsepower and torque output with the exact same motor. Believe me, it was more than adequate for me. It was totally fine. For your transmission, it is an IVT transmission, which stands for Intelligent Variable. If you're not too familiar with car terms, essentially you drive it the way you would an automatic. You put it in drive, you put it in reverse, there's no gears you really have to shift through. The car has artificial gear ratios, so it'll distinguish its best gear ratio based off your kind of driving. And it has shifts, I say shifts loosely because they're not real gears, that will mimic like a regular automatic would, so it doesn't feel like a foreign or weird driving experience. Some CVTs, they do get a bad rep just because they feel weird. They feel almost like a rubber band that's waiting to snap. That's not the case on this transmission.
That's a great way to put it, actually.
Thank you.
I do like that, because in my girlfriend's Civic,
Yep.
she has a CVT, and it almost, sometimes it can feel that going first to second, almost like a rubber band letting go.
They also make a very strange droning sound, so if you've never driven a CVT before, it almost feels like you're just waiting for your car to shift, and it's just not shifting. It feels like there's something wrong with your car. Now that's normal for CVTs, but it's a little strange. So this kind of builds upon that and makes it a little bit more like driving a car should feel. All right, let's talk about the wheels. Now, I have to be totally honest with you guys. Yes, I do work for Kia. Yes, I advocate for our products. These wheels, I'm not the biggest fan of, and that's okay, because I'm gonna say one thing. They are our smaller wheels. It's a 16-inch steel wheel with a cover. So this is just a hubcap, really. You can take it off and just have your steel, or you can have this and it looks a little bit better. Even when it has the wheel cover, it's not the most attractive wheel in my opinion, but you might like it. The good news is, because this is a smaller wheel setup, it's not too expensive to find a 16-inch alloy that you can replace it with. If that is your deal breaker, if you just really hate the wheel setup, it won't be that expensive to change. For your tire, it's a Kumo all-season tire, and the Kia K4 is exclusively front-wheel drive. You get larger ventilated disc brakes up the front, with solid disc brakes in the rear, so no drum brakes on this vehicle. Again, take a look at the wheel and tire setup. It's
not really much to say about the steel wheel.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, definitely kind of one of the more less appealing
It's cost
designs.
effective. It's totally cost effective, so I understand why it's like that. Again, if you're someone who just needs a good, reliable vehicle with good features, you can totally look past this. But if aesthetics are a major thing for you, please know it's not too expensive to change this. Win! And you can always keep the steel wheel for your winter tire setup. Coming along to the mirrors, we get body color mirrors with a little bit of black plastic molding on the bottom. Coming to our door handles, here's one of my favorite things and a totally underrated feature, convenience entry.
That's the best part.
It's so nice. Everyone, you know what? It's not really something that when I was in sales, I heard people say, no one ever said I need convenience entry, but then when they don't have it, they don't like that. Right? So as long as the key is somewhere on you, you simply walk up to your car, press the button, and it'll unlock or lock the door for you based off whatever was happening before. With this, we also have push-to-start ignition and remote start built onto the key fob. But it doesn't stop there. We also have Kia Connect Access. It's essentially Kia's app that lets you start your vehicle, check the status of the fuel level, check your service status, all of that good stuff, even see if you left your doors unlocked, and the ability to lock them from your phone. Such a great app to have. It's free for 3 years, and then after that, it's a subscription, so you can opt in or out. But whew, I used to use it every single day. For the panels, or not the panels, the pillars of your windows, they are again that black plastic, which is a huge win. Guys, I can't tell you how many trade-ins I've seen that they're all scratched up. Seriously, it really holds up the vehicle. Is everything okay, Connor?
Oh, I think we're back.
Oh, did the screen turn black?
It turned black, but now the timer's not going. Oh, I think we're back here.
Okay, we might have had a technical difficulty. For the back doors of the vehicle, you'll notice that our door handle is pillar mounted.
I like that. It cleans up the door.
Yes, absolutely. The door is massive, by the way. It's a very long looking door. It's not awkward to get in and out of, though. And if you're careful, you don't have to worry about scratching vehicles beside you. But the pillar housing the rear door handle kind of adds to the overall fastback-like style of the back end of this car. You'll definitely see it once we get a little closer to the rear. This vehicle has the illusion of a very short trunk, simply because the body color starts way towards the end. But this gloss black panel hides a lot of the space that we actually do have. That's a really, really nice concave going downwards. I love the body style of the Kia K4. I know some people are kind of in between about it, and if you are in between, just know that next year we will have a hatchback, and the hatchback looks incredible. Charlotte and I got to see it in person. We got to check it out, and it looks so, so nice. We're so excited to get it. And if you want to see more on that, make sure you follow along on this channel because we will be filming it. All right. It looked like the boot was very small, but it was all a lie. There's so much space back here.
Massive.
The depth is incredible. So there's so, so much room all the way up to the rear seats. Maybe I'll just hop in to show you guys. I don't know what the actual measurements are, but my legs are fully extended right now.
One Gabby long from hip to leg.
And I'm 5'4", and I think I got longer legs than torso. Now, if I were to sit like this, my feet are still not touching the sidewall. So pretty cool.
Very spacious.
Let's hop out. It may look like the entry area is a bit small. That's a sedan thing. So it's not gonna have the most height, especially if you're comparing this to a crossover, an SUV, but it's more than adequate and you can certainly work with it. Coolers, pocky bags, things like that, you can absolutely still fit in here. A huge win for the K4 is also the fact that you do get a compact spare tire.
That's fantastic.
This is a rarity, you guys. Most modern vehicles, especially in the compact segment, are not coming with spare tires. They'll have a mobility kit, which is nice, but in certain situations, like if you get a full tire blowout, there's nothing you can do with the mobility kit. But a spare tire is great peace of mind. The fact that it's included, huge win. Now along the back end, the tail lamps, which I realize are now off, and I'll get back on, are a mix of LEDs and traditional bulbs. Very wide style design. I think it looks fantastic on this vehicle. You can also see the high-mounted stop lamp. And we'll get the full light system on, including the hazards, so you guys get the full picture. There we go. Perfect.
I like how we have a continuous light.
It's nice. It's very nice. Great thing about the K4 again, it's not overly styled, which is very nice. Overly styled cars can look completely tacky, but you do have some nice minor touches. So the inclusion of the piano black or gloss black. Hear that? Connor's phone's connected and I guess he didn't sync his contacts. That's okay. It's spooky when the car talks. All right, gloss black here, a little bit of gloss black along the taillight housing too, giving it that overall more sporty effect, even though it's not the sport model, which, side note, if you are looking for a turbocharged option, there is a K4 GT Line and GT Line Limited. Along the lower portion, so our diffuser-esque area, you can see we got more of that satin chrome. Our reverse light is right in the very center, and we got a downward-facing tailpipe. It's not very noticeable at all.
They're really underneath there.
But you guys can get a crazy aftermarket exhaust if you want. I'm just kidding. K4 badging is on the left-hand side. Kia in our very center, and that again is finished in that brushed aluminum. For your fuel tank, it's a 47-liter tank, which is not too expensive to fill, and that is a huge win in today's economy. Like I said, fuel efficiency is 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, or 7 liters per 100 combined, so highway and city. I'm going to quickly hop in the driver's side and have Connor come over here. We can show the driver's seat convenience functions. So in terms of height adjustment, it's just a manual. So you can crank it up or push it down to bring it back down. You got your backrest adjustment. All of this is pretty standard. And then if you'd like to maneuver your seat closer or further from the dash, you have a bar between your legs. And you use your legs to move that. On my left-hand side, we got our trunk release and our fuel door release, as well as quick buttons for the brightness adjustment, your electronic parking brake, and your traction control. One thing that's a little bit different on the K4 is where you'll find some of your comfort functions. So on the LX model, we have heated seats up at the front with 3 different levels. The button to control it is actually mounted on the door. So a little weird if you're used to driving Kia product where it's almost always somewhere in the center, but it's still there, so it just takes a little bit of getting used to. For your windows, you get an express window for the driver and regular power windows throughout the rest of the vehicle. You also got your window lock, your mirror controls, and your door locks. That's about it for the driver's side. I'm now gonna have Connor join me on the passenger side and we'll talk about all the extra tech that we get.
I wanted to add on, we were talking about fuel economy. Just to put it in perspective, my my Civic gets about 9 liters per 100 kilometer.
Sorry?
I said my Civic gets about 9 liters per 100 kilometer.
Ooh!
Now it is a
SI?
12-year-old car and also a different engine, but just to kind of put it in perspective.
Absolutely. I will say the closest competitor to this vehicle is going to be the Hyundai Elantra. Now, mechanically, there is no real major wins or losses for either car. They have the same engine, the same transmission, reliability-wise, they're going to be about the same. Now, the K4, however, is going to have a huge win for the 2025 model year, and that comes down to the software in the vehicle itself. So you can see we are working with an entry model, but we already have a 12.3-inch display. And you guys don't have to tell me, I'm not a big technology person myself, but screen size doesn't exactly matter. But the software that is in this vehicle is phenomenal. It is pretty simple, as you can tell. The graphics are large, so if you have to quickly make an adjustment or your passenger who's not familiar with this vehicle has to change something, it is very easy to understand the software. It is so driver friendly and just user friendly, I should say. You got integrated Sirius XM and HD radio, but the biggest win by far is the phone projection. So Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, I'm sure you're probably familiar with it. It is now wireless on our larger displays, which is something that the Elantra is not going to yet have, and something that Kia hasn't really had up until very recently. Connor's phone's connected right now. I don't want to drop his address.
Oh, I'm not too worried.
Oh, we just disconnect it? Uh-oh, Connor, I think we disconnected it when the car turned off. You might have to turn your phone back on. But I'm just going to quickly connect and hope that your address doesn't show. Oh,
Look at that
there we go.
Connectivity. And once
right.
It's connected, it is instant.
That was very quick. So Connor's Google Maps is now displayed. Now, whatever software you use or app that you use, whether it's Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps, it'll display across the entire screen like this if you'd like it to. Same thing with your music. If you listen to Apple Music, Spotify, you'll have all of that access here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is so user-friendly because it's really just your phone, and chances are you're probably used to the software on your phone. But it's just seamlessly integrated into Kia's infotainment.
Someone was wondering, sorry, if they had in-car navigation as opposed to...
So not on this trim level, but you do have optional or included navigation on the GT line model. So that is where you'll find that included into the vehicle. Now, if you do have integrated navigation, you can still choose to use your phone's nav. It's totally up to you. I know that was what I did in my Kia Forte. I wasn't the biggest fan of Kia's nav, so I would still just use my Google Maps. But then you got the option for both if your phone's ever dead or if you don't have service. Underneath the screen, we have physical buttons. Physical buttons may seem like they're outdated, but they're actually making a major comeback. People love their buttons. They want their buttons. It is so easy and simple to just press home and jump back to your home screen. They've also included a search button that has a function of whatever you type in, really. So if this is your first new car in a while and you can't for the life of you find how to change your date and time, type in date and time and it'll take you exactly where you need to go to find that menu. Sorry, Connor's phone's connecting, so it's just taking a second. But date and time, and it'll jump you right over there. Super great or fantastic for the learning curve. You got your volume in the very center.
I like that.
Right? A media button, a favorites button, and a setup button. I love the inclusion of favorites buttons because once you own this car for a little while, you'll start to realize what settings you usually use more often. So you can just program this button to jump you straight there rather than finding it somewhere on the screen or typing it in the search. So if I want to make this my display off button, bye-bye display, she's off now, and then bring it right back on again. I'll set it to none, so the next time someone presses that, they don't think the car just turned off. Underneath, we've got some venting, we have our hazards button, and then all of our climate controls. Again, a major win for having your climate controls in a button or toggle style format. You can easily use this, a passenger can use this if they've never been in your car. It's easy to understand and super easy to reconfigure. You got your fan speed on the left-hand side with a button that if you press and hold will shut everything off, your front and rear defrost, all of your directional controls, an AC button, a button for recirculated air, and then finally your actual temperature control, highlighted in blue and red, super easy to understand. Underneath that, there are buttons for USB-Cs, or not buttons. We have access to USB-Cs. One does data and charging, and the other one is simply just for charging. There's a pretty blank space here for whatever storage you need, a push to start ignition, a traditional style gear shift, so a nice lever. If you're someone who's used to resting your hand on the gear shift, you'll really appreciate the fact that we still have one.
I like the style. It's almost like a...
It's like a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never flew a plane, but if I did, I feel like it would be like that. We got our auto hold button here, so that is our brake function that holds you at a full stop till you hit the gas.
My favorite feature.
It's so nice. And then a park view camera. So the camera is actually very, very high quality. We do have our lights off in the bay right now, so it might look a little bit dim, but super great. If you are reversing your vehicle and making adjustments or turning your steering wheel, these lines will move with you. So I'll show you where the back end of your car will end up, and you can even see how dirty our tiles are. That's good quality. In the very center, we have our retractable cup holders. So if you simply just need this for storage and you're not putting any drinks in here, you can tuck away the cup holders themselves.
I love these.
Aren't they nice?
It's great.
So, I mean, a trend in the automotive world, or just the world period, everyone's got big water bottles or big cups. These fit bigger water bottles. Pretty big one. And then again, if you don't have anything here at all, you got all this usable space. In the very center, just a regular style center console, nothing too crazy going on over there. And then I realized we didn't talk about the steering wheel, so I'm going to grab the camera from Connor just to show you guys what we've got going on. For your gauge cluster, it may look like it's fully digitized, but it's the center area here that you can actually configure as a driver. And to do so, you will just press this notes icon here. The main screen will show you your distance to empty, your speed limit on the bottom, as well as the vehicle's odometer and the outside temperature. You'll also see what functions are active, so safety functions. And then if I were to click this, I could see my current trip, so your liters per 100 based off how you're driving right now, but also you can cycle to since refueling or the vehicle's total since last reset. There is our safety menu here, and then our tire pressure menu. So this, you do need to be driving the vehicle for it to actually display the accurate pressure, but it'll warn you or tell you what's going on if anything's low and what wheel it will be. Back to our main screen though, I just want to quickly show you guys the left-hand side. So our speedometer is fully digitized and it's always displayed. So in some vehicles of the past, you would have to cycle between the center menu to find your digital display. Now we've got it all the time. You've got your bar gauge for your fuel level. And then on the right-hand side, we've got our digital tach and our temperature. Pretty nifty. If anything else is active, like right now we've got our parking brake on, that will be illuminated. That's pretty standard. And do not worry, this vehicle doesn't actually have a check engine light on. It's just simply an accessory mode, and that triggers all of the lights to be on. Your lighting stock is on the left-hand side. We do have automatic headlamps. And if you push the light stock forwards, it'll turn on your auto high beams. This will essentially turn off or on your high beams based off traffic around you. So if it's very, very dark, you're on a country road and there's no sufficient light around you and no other drivers, the high beams are on. But if another driver turns the corner and they're now, coming forward, your vehicle will shut off your high beams until it's safe to bring them back on again. Very, very nice to have if you are a frequent rural driver, or if you just live in Canada in the wintertime, it gets dark at 5 p.m. All right, you guys, I think we should check out the back seats, see how much space we have over there, because like I said, this compact leaves no compromise. There is not a cramped rear seat. We've got a lot of space back there. Let's prove it.
I just want to say something about the door handles. I like that it's not just a regular door handle. It's kind of got like again, more of a hexagon design to it.
It's a funky door handle. I'll show you guys a little Easter egg about this car too after in just a second. Now, in terms of rear space, legroom-wise, we are doing so well. This seat is a little further back than how I would typically drive too, so we're looking at a more worst-case scenario type thing. For our knees, we have about half a forearm's worth of space. I know, very official measurements. I'll put my forearm dimensions in the description below. And then right above my head, we're still working with a good amount of headroom. Although this vehicle is sloped back quite a bit, being as it is a fastback style sedan, I'm still very, very comfortable. I don't feel confined at all. You do have a lighter headliner too, which kind of subconsciously gives the illusion of more space too. So again, it doesn't feel like a dark little back seat. For the seats themselves, the main seats are extremely wide, so you have a lot of seat real estate. If you are sitting in the middle seat, you guys already know it's not the best seat in the house. But because this vehicle doesn't have too high of a center hump here, your legs aren't kind of pushed into your chest, so you're not sitting in the fetal position. There is some room to relax and kind of enjoy the ride. You do also have a good amount of space to have the option of putting your legs on either side too without getting too much in the space of your passenger sitting next to you. Now, there are no rear air vents on the LX trim level, but you do have rear USB-Cs and a little storage pocket as well. The same is true for the center seat. Now the center seat on this trim does not have a cup holder or armrest that drops down. That is available in higher trim levels on this car. Same thing with the rear climate controls. You do have car seat anchors back here and tethers. So it is car seat approved. Like I said, very, very spacious for a back seat. This is a fantastic first new vehicle for somebody. This would be a very, very nice first car. I definitely did not have a car this nice. It was my first. Also a great rideshare vehicle if you are someone who does Uber or that kind of thing. Plenty of space for your rear passengers. It's comfortable and it is super good on fuel. Connor, can you think of anyone else who this car would be good for?
One thing I was noticing, there's no door pockets.
What do you mean?
There's nothing, there's no...
Oh, no. Door pockets, seat backs.
Seat back
pockets.
Oh, sorry, you know what I mean.
I was like, door pockets are right
no,
there.
No, fair enough.
Speaking of, we can show the door pockets.
I was talking about the handle earlier on. But yeah, just the design of the door is nice and simple. Yeah. It's nothing too crazy. It's kind of like a soft touch kind of armrest right there.
I like how even though it's not a premium trim level, the materials still feel nice. I was actually in a brand new Civic Si the other day. A friend of mine had a press car and it felt really plasticky in there, like very cheaply plastic. And that vehicle was almost $50,000. So I was really, I don't want to say unimpressed, but I was just really, wow, that is interesting. Now I understand the Si is a sport model. It's supposed to be a little more fun to drive and that kind of thing, but I was still kind of like, oh, okay, like a base model K4LX is a lot less money and we got a nicer interior that we're working with. So I say comfort-wise, this vehicle packs a major punch, but also in the safety department, this vehicle has 8 airbags. That is a lot of airbags for a compact vehicle. It has great crash safety ratings. In terms of active safety as well too, I already mentioned the smart cruise control and the forward collision avoidance, but this vehicle also has lane keep and lane follow assistance, and it'll let you know if the vehicle ahead of you has already departed and should you choose to take a break. So if the vehicle senses that you're driving a little erratically or maybe you're just not as attentive, it can recommend a break, which I know some people love, some people hate. It can be turned off.
I always get that message.
Yeah. So all of the active safety is very helpful. And again, if you're someone who just wants a simple car to get you from point A to point B, you don't care about all of this extra stuff, you can totally turn it off. So it's just very customizable. So it's very, very up to you as a driver how complicated or how simple this car can be. I will say though, just the average, like the tech that comes standard on this car, the wireless CarPlay, the easy to use user interface, it's nice. It's simple but nice. It's not boring. And that's what I have to say about this car.
It feels very futuristic as well because I don't know, just looking at the seats, like the headrest design is pretty wild.
Yeah, so I didn't even mention that. They built these seats with space in mind. So while the seat itself is actually thinner, it's not uncomfortable. Just the seat back, everything. It's just giving you more space and also doubling what the space can do. So the backs of these seats double as a hanger. You can use it for coats, you can use it for bags, whatever you want really. They also look kind of funky. So that's what I got to say about that.
Someone asked, sorry, is there a red interior option for this K4?
No. So I think in the States you guys get a red interior option. In Canada we only have a black for all the trim levels, except when you get to the GT line, Turbo and Limited. It's going to have like it's black leatherette in the center with white piping on the surrounds. Very hard for me to just verbally describe. If you guys want to check it out, we have filmed tons of videos on them. Beautiful interior, and it also has a dual tone steering wheel as well too. So the design matches throughout the car. It's not just in the driver's area, it's throughout. One more thing now I totally forgot.
I'm gonna jump in here.
Yeah, come on in, Connor. Maybe it'll come back to me. Well,
oh, jump scare there. Sorry, guys. Oh, wrong way.
Oh. We got to do something about that. Such a cool interior.
Completely off topic. R2K Sports was saying the SI is 30 grand. It is 38 in Canadian and 58 for the Type R, and that's base price, and you'd be hard pressed to find a base price or a MSRP.
That is ridiculous.
So. And Tesla is ugly. Yeah.
I'm not a Civic hater or anything. I actually think they're great cars, but there's definitely a difference in how the interior feels. I do think they do a fantastic job on the exterior, and not performance-wise or anything like that. I'm just talking about how the inside feels. I'm flabbergasted when I hear the pricing sometimes. I'm like, oh.
Right.
Oh, y'all are charging this much? Interesting. Straight Pipes reviewed the K4 today. Yeah, they're not a fan of the sedan. They like the hatchback. I understand the design it's very different than what the Forte was. So it's going to be something that some people will love and some people just won't like at all. And that's okay. That's why we've got Civics and, you know, Mazda 3s. And that's why there's other cars out there. But I do think this is a fabulous vehicle for someone who's looking not to spend too much money, but they want features, they want safety, they want comfort. This is a out of the park sedan for that.
Absolutely. And someone just mentioned if you put alloys on, this is a fantastic looking car. I think the
yeah.
steel rims do, well, steel rims don't look the best, but I think the hubcaps they chose fit with the car. And if you didn't have the money to upgrade to alloys, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Being said, having the 16-inch wheels is why this vehicle actually does better fuel efficiency wise than the other K4 models. It's got smaller wheels. So if you're someone who does not care about the aesthetics of the car, you just care about how it feels on the inside, how it drives, and how much it costs to fill up, don't even worry about the wheels. They're totally fine. But if you are someone who's so hard pressed on just the styling, wheels are super easy to change. Super easy to change.
Oh, yeah.
Just come to Brantford Kia. We'll swap them for you.
There are tons of options through Fastco.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Connor's in our parts department. He knows all of the options. Henry said, the base model comes with cloth seats upholstery. How comfortable and durable does this material feel for longer drives? So funny you asked that. Charlotte and I spent an entire day in the blistering Texas heat in the K4EX, which has the same seating materials as this LX here. Let me tell you, the AC works wonders, and cloth seats do not get as hot as leather. So
Yes.
we were good. We were very, very happy. We actually did not want to get out of the car to film. We wanted to film everything we could inside the vehicle. Whenever we had to get like roller shots or anything like that, I'm like, Charlotte, can you do it? Can you? I don't want to leave. So it was very, very comfortable, and I'm not joking about how hot it was. We were dying every time we were outside.
Texas heat, yeah.
I think we could quite literally fry an egg on the hood of that car. So it was so hot. How does the real world fuel economy compare, especially during typical commutes to longer road trips? I feel they're pretty spot on, unless you as a driver are someone who is very, very heavy in the foot department. That's when you'll see a major difference, but they're really spot on with their ratings for fuel efficiency. My Forte, which again, same powertrain, read at, I believe, 7.2 is the average, and that was me driving hard. So it's pretty close. Yeah. This car's rated at 7, so 7.2, we're not far off.
Kind of off topic, someone asked me how my car is doing. I have completely ripped off the gray wrap. I am restarting with a different company, ditching Vivid and going with Avery Dennison. So we're going to try that one. So people say it's easy to install, so I'm hoping that they're not lying to me.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes.
I just got my wrap. It came in the other day too.
Oh yeah.
So I'm doing a color. I'm not going to tell you guys, but it's a color. Hey Gabby, tell Kia to put a 6-speed manual in the K4 Turbo.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I could tell them that, but I don't think
know if
they'll
listen.
It.
What's the red line? Good question. Probably 65 or 68.
Yeah.
Depending.
Are we going to test that?
No.
On a car that's not ours? I don't think so. Message for Connor on top, please. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Adele, is it from you? I'm trying to find it.
There was someone that wanted to see the headlights closer up, so maybe I'll go after that. I think it was one of the first or second comments we had.
I'm trying to find the comment for you. I did see one saying, Gabby, you're wearing colors. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Hi, Connor. I ordered for Kia Sportage floor matting, but hasn't found time to go back to Brantford yet. So sorry. If you still have it when I get the chance to visit, I definitely bring it home. So
yeah, I think we put it back into stock. So we keep them in stock here. Yeah. So it's no problem. Absolutely.
If when you know you're going to come by, let us know. So if we don't have anything, we can reorder.
or we can reorder it.
Yeah. Oh, and you just sent the message again. So I found it, the original one, but yeah, I just saw it again. I love using my paddle shifters, but I don't know how far to push it. So
well, there's definitely it'll let you know.
There's a limit.
You can hit the red line. It won't. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the rev limiter.
Yeah.
Is to limit the revs.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hit it once or twice, it's not gonna do any damage.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't sit on it.
Don't do that every day. Connor, any updates regarding the parts at the dealership? We got them.
Yep. It's going well. Yeah. Parts is good.
How would you rate the sound quality for everyday listening? Oh, it disappeared. And are there options for upgrading the audio in higher trims? So the entry model that we have here today has 4 speakers. All trim levels above this will move it up to 6 speakers until you get to the GT line Turbo Limited, where you actually get a premium Harman Kardon sound system. So you can certainly aftermarket upgrade the speakers. How much you spend there or how great the sound quality is really comes down to what you opt for. So there's a lot of different options there. The sound system's fine. I feel like just about every modern... this is also to my standards. I'm not a huge sound person. Are you?
To be honest, the last couple of days, I have not been finding any music I like, and I just drive home in silence.
That's psychopath
and
behavior.
I just have my thoughts to keep me company. But no, I mean, I'm not really... one of my speakers was blown in the Miata for 1.5 years, and I didn't fix it, so I'm not really much of a sound guy, to be honest.
That's a convertible. You just listen to what's going on outside.
Yeah, and it makes it... You have to crank it up all the way to... I can't be bothered, to be honest.
Just say, like, I know for me, factory sound systems are usually more than enough. Even if it's not the premium factory sound system, I'm always okay with it. You do have the configurator in the center screen that you can change, like where the bass and treble sit, or like what range. You can also change where the music is projected more so. So if you do have anybody back here, let's say you've got kids and they're sleeping, or just passengers that aren't vibing with your music, you can channel all the sound to be projected only to the front speakers of the vehicle, and that does make a difference. So.
Nice.
All right. Now I think that's probably it. I told Connor this would be a 20-minute video, and we're currently at 36 minutes.
I think quickly before we exit, I will maybe jump out and just quickly show the headlights.
Yes. Did someone ask for that?
Someone did at the beginning.
Let me get them on then.
Someone also mentioned if I daily drive the Civic over the Miata. I typically, on the beautiful days, I try and drive the Miata, but if it's raining or crappy, I do drive the Civic. So I definitely like how they've stacked the LEDs. Are these LEDs in the...
Yeah.
Looks like, yeah.
Full LEDs in the entry model.
And the amber running light. I think they look very slick.
So some people have asked, it was asked on a Kia Sportage video, they wanted to know if you can change the ambers to be straight white, and no, you can't do that from factory. There's no settings in the vehicle that let you change that. And I will say, maybe the ambers aren't for you, maybe you don't like them. I would say drive it for a little while with it. I think they make a really big difference in the vehicle's aesthetic appearance, just on the outside. It looks real good. It stands out too. So those are your indicator lights, and they, like I said, they very much stand out. So people will see when you're signaling or whatnot. Also, I don't know, you guys, I know design is subjective, and my opinion may vary from yours, but this looks good. Don't get me wrong. Connor, what do you...
I like the design of our new lights. I've always liked, like when the Telluride came out with the original amber running lights, I always thought that was great.
It's unique!
And I like what some people do on the Elantra N, where they've actually tinted the running lights. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
I guess that's not a Kia or a Hyundai option, but in the aftermarket world, they have that.
Yeah, you could totally do that if you want to. Just don't do it too dark.
Someone said check your local laws regarding car headlight lighting. That is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get pulled over.
Yeah, so these amber lights, they are okay. They're legal, but if you do red or blue lights...
Yeah, you'll probably get pulled over pretty quick.
There's other people out there on the road that have red and blue lights, and I don't think they're going to like that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are still on, make sure you leave a like before you end off today's video, or before we end off today's video, and we hope to see you again next week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Goodbye. Connor, do you know how to end it?